Good morning.
Good morning.
Last Saturday, I myself and other two brothers, we were ordained to the order of diaconate. After Mass, my family asked me, "How do you feel?" I remember I responded to them, "I feel great." Only after a couple of days, I have this anxiety. And one of the words is giving a homily today. Believe me, their words night would toss and turn, worry what to say, what to deliver in the homily, and how I present.
When we preach the word, there's a sense of nervousness and what am I going to say? How am I going to communicate to people that Jesus, that God really loved them? At this point in my life, it's mean much more than just preach the word. It's actually preach the word with my life. It's more of how can I be present to these people who are in most need of hearing about love, about hope.
So this morning I've been asked to speak about a very beautiful topic, the wonderful sacrament of reconciliation. And so I would encourage you to look at this sacrament in a grown-up way and also with an understanding that you're never going to be perfect. Live with the imperfections.
One of the wonderful things about living with confreres who are older than ourselves is we can learn from their examples. Some of the stories from people who've been on missions and how they were given in the past, and the way that people prepared themselves for that and how that could be applied to our ministry today.
There's a time to share and there's a time to pray. There's a time that people feel like, they want to know who are you, what are you doing, why you are here.
That this Jesus is there as a loving and forgiving God. God bless. In an hour-long preaching, I have no idea. I throw all this stuff out and I have no idea where it lands. And yet meeting some of these people who will say, you said this, you said that, you said that. I didn't say it, but they will tell me, yes, you did. And I believe then that's how God intended them to hear what God wants them to hear through my inadequate, weak, imperfect human words, right?
When they say, last week you said this and it made me think, it's almost like we gave them the opening sentence and then they had a dialogue with God and took it further. And appreciate that we opened the door for that to happen.
Alphonsus was very concerned about going to the countryside where there were very few priests serving, to go and work in what we would call the inner city and to work in Naples with the street people, and to go where there was great need, where people were being abandoned or not feeling like they connect well with the church.
I think about a recent example in one of our parishes in Baton Rouge, where the new pastor there started sort of a ministry on a bicycle. He started just being present in the neighborhood and just riding around the neighborhood. And people started coming into the church, I think primarily because they said, well, here's somebody who's coming out to meet us, to get to know us, to really listen to us. So maybe if he's willing to listen to us, maybe we'll be willing to listen to him.
How we reach out and interact with people is very different from age to age. When I think of St. Alphonsus, for example, the big push was to get things into print. There are some things that remain the same in terms of the message, for example, the desire to reach out and engage with people. So I'm very grateful that Anne has preached missions and retreats in many settings, and today then she's going to be able to share. That's important that we work as a community and people will be able to see that in the way that we work as a team, whether we're on a parish preaching team, whether we're trying to produce devotion on television, or whether we're working in a parish-based ministry and working together in a community.
The whole heart, I think, of today's readings, the gospel the first reading, the second reading, and the psalm really has to do with bread. Bread is kind of a visceral.
I love the way St. Alphonsus said it in his first draft of the rule, the constitutions by which Redemptorists live. He said, the purpose of the Redemptorist community is to continue Christ, not to imitate him, to continue Christ.
It has to do with our moral theology, that our preaching reflects our understanding of how we approach moral issues. And Alphonsus was the specialist in this. And what I have found, people who have known Redemptorists for a long period of time, they say, well, you are grounded. You're grounded because you are aware of and appreciate tradition. And you are aware of where the signs of the times of the church and society are today. And you talk to both.
So what Redemptorists do is equip people like me to get out there in our regular world and continue Christ. And then when the time is right, you put the words on it. And that's where that particular gift Redemptorists have for explicit proclamation of the gospel is so essential.
And so today, Jesus' command for you give them something to eat. I'd invite you to think about that not just in your strength, not just in your capacities, but also in your brokenness, in our brokenness. We're broken as individuals, we're broken as communities, we're broken as church. And there's no need to fix it. We just need to share it.